Hello, especially for the Dirty Secrets channel.
Lena preferred the company of the dead to the living. In the basement of County General, the fluorescent lights hummed a familiar tune as she meticulously arranged her instruments on the steel tray. Each scalpel, each pair of forceps placed exactly 2 inches apart. This was her ritual, her comfort. Quiet was what she loved most. The bodies never asked questions, never expected her to smile or make small talk. They just were. Like her. Existing in a space between worlds. Her apartment mirrored her workspace, minimalist, orderly, cool. White walls, gray furniture. No photographs, no mementos. Just clean surfaces and empty spaces, as if color itself demanded too much emotional response. Heading out, Lena? It's Friday, Dr. Mercer called from the doorway, keys jangling in his hand. Not yet. Paperwork, she replied, not looking up from her clipboard. You know, there's a whole world up there. He gestured toward the ceiling. Full of living people. Lena offered a thin smile. I'll take your word for it. When he left, she exhaled. Alone again. Her phone buzzed. Eli. Still on for tomorrow? I miss you. She typed back, yes. 7 p.m. No emojis, no excess words. But something in her chest warmed slightly. Eli understood her silences, never pushed for more than she could give. Their relationship was like her, quiet, contained, but present. Saturday mornings were for inventory and cleaning. Lena was elbow-deep in disinfectant when the doors swung open. 2 paramedics wheeled in a black body bag. Morning, one nodded. Male, mid-20s. Found in his apartment. No signs of trauma. Medical examiners backed up, so he's all yours for processing. Lena pulled on fresh gloves, unzipped the bag, and time stopped. Eli's face. Pale. Still. His eyes, the warm brown that had looked at her with such patience, now vacant and fixed on nothing. No, she whispered. Her clipboard clattered to the floor. You okay? The paramedic asked. But Lena couldn't answer. She was examining the birthmark behind his left ear. The small scar on his right eyebrow from a childhood fall. The geometric tattoo on his forearm that he'd gotten on their 3rd date, a series of interconnected triangles that he said represented the complexity of human connection. There must be a mistake, she finally said, voice cracking. I know this man. We were supposed to meet tonight. Paramedics exchanged glances. ID says Elias Graham, 28. Address on Oakwood Drive. Her Eli. Her quiet sanctuary in a noisy world. Time of death, she asked, her professional mask slipping back into place. Me estimated between 8 and 10 p.m. yesterday. Yesterday evening. While she was finishing her shift. While she was texting him. Lena sat in her dark apartment, a glass of untouched whiskey on the coffee table. She had called in another technician, claimed illness. For the first time in 4 years, she had fled the morgue. She stared at her phone. Their last texts glowed on the screen. 8:13 p.m. Still on for tomorrow? I miss you. 8:15 p.m. Yes. 7 p.m. 11:43 p.m. Can't wait to see you. She had checked with the police. Eli had been dead for at least 24 hours when she saw him. Heart failure, they suspected. Awaiting toxicology. But they had texted last night. After he was already, her phone buzzed. Eli's name appeared on the screen. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Wear that black dress I like. Lena dropped the phone as if it had burned her. Her heart hammered against her ribs. A mistake. Cruel joke. A glitch. She picked up the phone with trembling fingers and typed, Who is this? The reply came instantly. It's me, Lena. Who else? Sunday passed in a blur of frantic investigation. Lena hacked into Eli's email using the password he'd once shared. Nothing unusual. She drove to his apartment, used the spare key he'd given her. Everything was as it should be. coffee mug in the sink, bed unmade, his laptop open on the kitchen table. She checked his browser history, normal. Social media, normal. No signs of distress, no evidence of someone else using his accounts. Back at the morgue, she reviewed the intake documentation. Time of death estimated between 8 to 10 p.m. Thursday. She scrolled through their texts again. He had messaged her at 11:43 p.m. that same night. She pulled security footage from the morgue. There he was on the table. Unmistakably Eli. Unmistakably dead. Another text. Are you mad at me? Why aren't you answering? Then I can see you, you know. Right now. Looking at your phone. Lena whirled around, scanning the empty morgue. The security cameras blinked their red lights in the corners. Sleep became impossible. Lena would drift off only to jerk awake at the sound of footsteps that weren't there. Shadows moved in the corners of her vision. The air in her apartment felt thick, like someone was breathing it before her. Texts continued. I saw you at work today. You look tired. That red sweater brings out your eyes. Why did you look in my desk drawer? Those papers aren't for you. Lena hadn't been to his apartment in days. She hadn't worn a red sweater. She owned no red clothing. She started photographing the rooms of her apartment before leaving, checking the images upon return. Once, a coffee mug had moved 6 inches to the left. Another time, her bedroom door was open exactly 15 degrees wider. Or was she imagining it? Measuring angles in her head like the bodies on her table? At work, she found herself checking the cold storage drawers repeatedly, half expecting Eli's body to have vanished. But it remained, awaiting final toxicology before release to the funeral home. Then came the text that stopped her heart. I know what you did with the other bodies, Lena. What other bodies? What was he saying? She scrolled through her camera roll. In 3 consecutive days, photos of her living room, a dark spot in the corner grew slightly larger each day, as if something was pushing its way through from somewhere else. Eli's funeral was small. His parents, a few friends, Lena in the back row, hollow-eyed and silent. No one questioned her detachment. That was just Lena. She heard whispers. That's the girlfriend. So cold. And not a single tear. They didn't understand that her grief lived in her marrow, not on her face. After everyone left, she returned to his apartment with newfound determination. She methodically searched every drawer, every shelf. Under his mattress, nothing. Behind books, nothing. In his closet, she found a locked box. She remembered the combination, his mother's birthday. Inside was a leather-bound journal, its pages filled with increasingly paranoid entries. March 12th, someone is watching me. Not following, watching. Through cameras? Through phones? April 3rd, saw him again today. The man who looks like me. Standing across the street. When our eyes met, he smiled with my face. May 16th, they're replacing us. One by one. Perfect copies. But the eyes are wrong. Look at the eyes. The last entry dated the day before he died. It's too late for me. Lena is next. If you're reading this, Lena, run. Her phone buzzed. You shouldn't be in my apartment. You shouldn't read things that aren't for you. She dropped the journal, heart racing. How did they know? Then she noticed the tiny camera in the corner of the closet, no bigger than a button. Lena devised a plan. She texted back, let's meet. Our usual spot. 9 p.m. Park bench where they had first kissed. She arrived early, hiding behind the thick oak tree 20 feet away, eyes fixed on the empty bench. 9:02, a figure approached. Eli's height. Eli's walk. Eli's favorite jacket. He sat down, checking his phone. When he looked up, Lena's breath caught. It was Eli's face, but something was subtly wrong. The angle of his jaw. The set of his eyes, fractionally too wide, too intent. She stepped out. Who are you? He turned, smiled Eli's smile. Lena, you're late. You're not Eli. His expression didn't change. Don't be ridiculous. Are you feeling okay? Eli is dead, she said firmly. I saw his body. I matched his fingerprints myself. The thing wearing Eli's face tilted its head. Sweetheart, you're overworked. Let's go home. What did you do to him? She kept her distance, hand clutching the recorded evidence in her pocket. The journal. The phone with the impossible texts. His smile faltered. Lena, you're the one who's been acting strange. Ever since that mix-up at work. There was no body. Dr. Mercer confirmed it. What? You had a breakdown, Lena. Don't you remember? You thought a body was me, but it wasn't. We've been worried. He reached out. His fingers looked wrong. Too long. How did you know I was in the apartment? She demanded. How did you know about the journal? Something shifted behind his eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. The text. You texted me about being in your apartment. He frowned. My phone's been dead all day. Battery issue. Lena ran. I need to report an impersonation, Lena told the police officer, pushing the journal across the desk. And possibly a murder. The officer skimmed the journal, expression skeptical. Miss Nowak, we've been through this. The medical examiner confirmed there was no body matching your boyfriend's description. But I processed him myself. According to Dr. Mercer, you had an episode. Stress-induced hallucination. Mr. Graham is very much alive. Then explain these. She showed the officer the texts from Eli after his supposed death. Texts from your very living boyfriend? He sighed. Ms. Nowak, have you been sleeping? On her way out, she checked the morgue records one last time. No Elias Graham. No record of a body delivered Saturday morning. The security footage showed her standing alone in the morgue, talking to empty air. When she returned home, her phone buzzed. You should have stayed quiet. Now I have to start over. At home, she found her apartment door unlocked. Inside, all her carefully collected evidence was gone. The photographs, the journal copies, everything. In her bathroom mirror, she noticed something strange about her reflection. The angle of her jaw. The set of her eyes fractionally too wide, too intent. Behind her, a figure stepped into view. It wore her face, but something was subtly wrong. It's easier if you don't fight it, her reflection said, as the real Lena's face stared back from the doorway behind her. No one ever believes them anyway.
Thank you for watching. If you liked the story, like, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Thank you.